points ahead of Liverpool at the top, and they now have...
Palace, of course, who reached the area final last season, losing to Chelsea, who went on to take the trophy. Picked on by Sherwood. Salako for Palace. And safely back to Brian Gunn, the goalkeeper for Norwich City. Really isn't too easy to predict this one. Crystal Palace won here in the league pretty convincingly, and Norwich won at Selhurst Park in equally emphatic fashion. Here's Ian Wright. So much danger up front, alongside Mark Wright. What a combination they've proved. Now David Smith. Norwich, as we've been hearing, without Ian Crook, who's their playmaker in midfield, such a good passer of the ball, Ian Crook, so they're bound to miss him. He hopes to be back in time for the FA Cup quarter-final at the weekend. Sherwood with Culverhouse, one of the former Tottenham players in the side. How is Gareth Southgate going to cope tonight? So Robert Fleck, who's such a penetrative striker at the Norwich side. In great form at the moment, Fleck. They have in the past, David, of course, switched Jeff Thomas to the back, but Steve Coppell opting for the youngster tonight rather than move Thomas back from midfield.
Yes, Peter, my early indication is Shaw is going to sit behind them.
Bourne knocked it out, and Phillips over the bar.
Yes, it looks as though Shaw is probably going to play a central role. Whether they'll persist with it when they realise that Norwich are only playing one out-and-out front player. But Salako's gone into the left-back position. In midfield it looks like Pardew, Gray and Thomas. And up front, the two coloured boys, Wright and Bright.
Flick on from Wright, Culverhouse. Good form at the moment, Norwich. Only one defeat in their last 10 matches after something of an indifferent spell earlier in the season. They really couldn't get going. They have been inconsistent until the last few weeks. And I gather Saturday's game at Wimbledon wasn't too exciting. The stinker of the season, I saw it described as in one paper. A goalless draw, needless to say.
I heard the managers left early.
I think the crowd did. There weren't many there in the first place. Southgate's header, confidently done. Ian Wright, they've got to be so careful of his pace. Ian Wright, who played, of course, against the Cameroon side recently for England, his full senior debut. Did pretty well too. Dale Gordon, another man who's having an excellent season for Norwich. Fine pass then, picking out Phillips. Bowen had gone outside him. Phillips cracking it through, took a deflection too. Here's a player who puts a venomous shot, David Phillips. Culverhouse now, slipped by Thomas. Towards Gordon. Southgate clears away.
Good play by Norwich. Gordon there cutting infield, good movement. Then when the ball was switched out wide left, Bowen got round the back very quickly, and they didn't use him. They played it deep to the back post. Good play, imaginative play.
Gordon with Culverhouse. Gordon again. The party who can bring it away for Palace, finding Wright. And in the end, no alternative for Ian Wright. It's a difficult ball for the defender to deal with their blades. For Gordon. Salako is there to tidy up. Does indeed appear to be playing as a left back in these early stages in this formation, which has Shaw here. Shaw, there he is, number 3. That's the free man, really. Steve Coppell, of course, David, a great tactician.
I think so, yes. He's calm and he's calculating and he's He's a very good front man for the club. He thinks very clearly. He's got Ian Brantford, who's found his feet in the coaching staff there and had a big influence. And of course, I'm sure that Steve Coppell appreciates the tremendous work that Ron Nodes has done at the club. He's really supported him with good hard money to enable him to get better class players to Selhurst Park.
Crystal Palace having such an outstanding season despite their little slip-ups of late, like third at the moment behind Arsenal and Liverpool. Can they make it to Wembley then in the Zenith Data Cup? Or will Norwich deny them their place in the final? Andy Gray, such a forceful player. You can never really tie Andy Gray down. Right now, a burst of pace from him. Colston was in the way. It's certainly a promising start to this game. David Smith, got though by Gray. The referee awarding the free kick to Norwich City. Bowen, captaining Norwich City with Butterworth only a substitute tonight. Butterworth, who's been out for 4 matches. And when I asked Dave Stringer, the manager, beforehand if he was fit enough to play, he said yes, he's got to earn his place in the side again. Colston and Blades have been playing so well together at the back. Now Phillips, Gordon. Shot from Goss. Jeremy Goss forcing his way into the side in recent matches. And he's come on in leaps and bounds this season.
Yes, he certainly gets hold of that, hits it early with his left foot.
No problem though for Nigel Martin in the Palace goal. Fleck. Now then for Mark Bowen. Goss spreading the play well, picking out Culverhouse. Always looking to play imaginative football, Norwich. Smith, conflict to Fleck. Now the referee has given the free kick for the foul on Fleck then. One outright striker at the Norwich side. It is hard for the Palace defenders, David, to pick up the players coming through from midfield. There's no one to mark immediately, is there?
That's right. Sometimes it's more difficult to mark a player coming from deep positions than to have a forward standing up against you. When he stands up against you, you know exactly what your role is. He's your man, and then you can hand other people on accordingly. But when they're coming from deep and when the passing is being interchanged rapidly, that's when Norwich seek out the spaces against you.
So no goals so far. Both sides showing some enterprising moments in the early stages. Don't forget, this is over 2 legs. The second leg to come at Selhurst Park next week. Almost 10 minutes gone in the first half.
I think it could well be that with the second leg in mind, that Steve Coppell sees that the 3 central defenders, as we have at the moment, might be something to help him get through this leg in a good state for the second game.
Pardew is okay now to continue. So here's the free kick taken by Smith. Here's Gordon. Away by Humphrey. Now Fleck. Southgate just got a foot in there. That was confidently done by Andy Thorne. Such an important player to Crystal Palace, and he and Eric Young have been a formidable combination at the back. Up goes Thomas, White hoping to pounce, nothing for him there though. Culverhouse.
Looks quite clearly that young Southgate is the marker with Fleck, and Thorne and Shaw are dropping off on either side just to make sure they cover the spaces that Norwich might break into.
Well, here's Wright now for Palace. Looking to create some menace at the other end, not this time though. What a discovery he has been for Crystal Palace, Ian Wright. Such a phenomenal goal-scoring record in recent seasons. Gut with his body right behind the ball. And Mark Wright lurking in the area.
That was a good ball, you know, Peter. I mean, he thought very quickly and he whipped that ball in. A nasty ball for Gunn to gather. It's a wet surface, it's a skiddy surface, and it just needed Mark Wright there probably just to try and get across the face of the goal. Good execution.
Culverhouse, whacked up by Thomas. Free kick too quickly though for the referee's liking. He might have a word with Jeff Thomas. No, looking the other way. Sherwood. He's popped up with some useful goals this season. Let's take Sherwood for Norwich. Didn't really get hold of that one though. Now the chase is on down the middle for Wright. Gunn had come a fair way out there. But he's sponsored by an optician, the goalkeeper Brian Gunn, so he can certainly see what's going on there. Now Fleck. Well, his striking rate has been so good in recent matches. And he's got 18 goals in 24 cup ties. Robert Fleck for Norwich, so he has a liking for cup football. And he looks full of confidence at the moment, David.
Yes, he's a breezy character. I mean, you don't get many front players who take the weight of the front line like him at 5'8", 5'9". But as you say, a very good goal-scoring record, particularly in cup ties.
Seems almost to relish the responsibility on his shoulders. Great favourite with the fans here at Carrow Road. His enthusiasm. This is Andy Thorne, pursued by Sherwood. Now Goss. Little interchange of passes again from Norwich. And Thorne's tackle was a vital one there. There's a goal kick, it came off Sherwood. There's the linesman over on the far side. I think Sherwood agrees. But Andy Thorne there, David, timed his tackle to perfection. Yes,
I was just going to say, if Sherwood had had a spot more acceleration there to give, Thorne would have had no option but to kind of catch him and give away the free kick. So it was fortunate that he did get there first.
And Andy Thorne, as you saw there, of course, was at Wembley with Wimbledon, the FA Cup winners, back in '88, that shot win over Liverpool. Blades, record signing from Derby County. Kept out of the side for a while by the forward Colston. Sherwood to Phillips. Again, it's a promising build-up from Norwich. They do find each other so well. Southgate holding his own at the back. Doing his best to ride the tackles. They stopped him in the end, but illegally. Great source of inspiration, though, he's been to Crystal Palace in their triumphs of the past two seasons. Goss. Shaw. Thomas. Palace themselves, of course, hoping to return to Wembley after their success in reaching the FA Cup final. And Ford and Co were there last season against Manchester United. Sherwood. It's good run here by Smith. Spotted the opportunity. Ford had spotted him as well. Oh, was that out of play? Can't quite see the linesman down below us. I think he's saying it is a throw. Well, Ron Atkinson in the studio, also watching this game, of course, with us. Ron, your early impressions of the game so far?
Yes, well, obviously Palace are setting their stall out just to prevent Norwich scoring. They're sitting behind the game, not really applying much pressure. Thomas, I don't think, has hardly made a forward run in the course of the game. For me, Norwich's best chance looks as if it might be with a chance of a midfield player playing a little give and go around the edge of the penalty area, Fleck, because Palace do seem to be getting a tight knot of defenders, and high crosses don't look as if they're going to bother them. They look as if they'll see that off. But Norwich are good enough to play the way through the heart of the defence with quick little give and goes, and I think that looks their best bet at the moment.
Okay, Ron, thanks very much. We'll hear from you a little later on. But here's Thomas now on the goal. Thomas has scored. The combination with Bright and celebrations among the Palace supporters. Their captain has put them in front. A sudden break then by Palace, and they really caught Norwich out. Really well worked goal. Thomas, the old 1-2 there with Bright, and steered beyond Guff.
Good play by Thomas. He kept his run going, and he finished it with his right foot. But when he plays that ball, at that moment he plays the ball, the defender, I think it was Polston there, should have gone with him and covered with him.
So Crystal Palace ahead, 17 minutes gone. This Zenith Cup Southern Area final, and Thomas did so well here. Kept going.
Yeah, it was Paul Blades actually that was marking Thomas at that second, and he just followed the ball for that brief second and allowed Thomas to get goal side, and it was Culverhouse, I think, coming across. It was just a shade late to pick up the cover.
So there he is, the goal scorer, his 5th of the season. The man who's forced his way into the England reckoning this season, an England B squad member. Did he play for the England B side? And who knows now? He might have scored the goal, but will have to steer his team back to Wembley again this season. Well, that's what the Palace fans are shouting now. We're going back to Wembley. Long way to go yet. Norwich now have to come from behind with the home advantage tonight. Some of the players were saying beforehand, as long as we don't lose, we feel we'll have a chance in the second leg, whatever the outcome. But it's Palace who struck first.
Possibly the first strike at goal that Palace have had this evening.
Well, they talk of Mark Bright, the provider, and we saw evidence of that again. Helping to set up the opportunity after that run by Thomas. Now here's Phillips for Norwich, looking for a prompt response. Sherwood's ball in, domestically though. Sanko with Wright. And even Wright with his pace wouldn't catch that one.
No, he'll be very disappointed with that delivery. He broke out well, and I was hoping that he might get forward and combine. At the moment, Palace have got very little going down this left side in an attacking sense.
Culverhouse. Well, Ron Atkinson just about finished speaking last time. Right on cue for the goal to be scored. What about the goal then, Ron?
Well, ironically enough, I said I thought a give and go might get Norwich a go. It's quite the reverse. A very untypical Palace goal, not their usual stamp, but it is the first time all game in the match that Thomas has made a forward break, and a very, very decisive one it was. As David said, I think Norwich were very, very loose at the back, but that can be a tendency sometimes with their pattern of play. Their centre-backs do tend to play a little bit wide of each other and don't afford a lot of cover, and you can break through them that way. But I must confess it was a very, very surprising way for Crystal Palace to score. I can't think that I've ever seen them score that type of goal before.
Well, thanks, Ron. Score they did. And Norwich, I felt they've been tighter at the back in recent matches after conceding a lot of goals early on. They were certainly torn apart for that opening goal. Right. Thorne. It's Gordon who touched it back to Brian Gunn. Norwich will be hoping for some magic from Dale Gordon. He's a key man in the side, stand-up winner against Manchester United in the FA Cup. Good shot then by Fleck. An unfair one, says the referee. Didn't she handle it, I think, David?
Yeah, there was a typical example of the longer ball from Norwich, from the goalkeeper, Fleck knocking it on, and Goss making the break through the centre area. They'll take it in turn, Sherwood, Goss, even Smith might make the odd break forward, Dale Gordon staying well wide. There it is again.
Yes, as we saw there, it certainly struck the arm of Robert Fleck. Thorne taking the free kick. Goss. Norwich doing their utmost here to battle their way back. Palace throw, leading here by the only goal so far, scored by their captain Jeff Thomas on 17 minutes. Good turn by Wright, ball rather skidded away from him there, a little unlucky. Gray.
I think you saw a good shot there, Peter. The rain absolutely teeming down when Gunn was taking that ball, and I think it's going to make for a very sticky pitch later on, and if anything could hamper Norwich more than Palace.
Doesn't really suit their style. Sherwood now trying to support Fleck. Don't really have too much chance there. And then we can see just how hard now it is raining at Carrow Road. We're in the dry after the commentary box here, but it's pretty wet down there. And as David was saying, the surface now looking rather treacherous. Certainly will be later on. Salako. Colston. I think was at Tottenham when you were there, David. John Colston.
Yes, John, he's had a little bit of injury problem with his back, but he's a nice, steady boy. He's a good defender, a solid defender. I like to see him sometimes impose himself a little bit more.
David Phillips trying to impose himself here for Norwich. Bowen. On by Fleck. Goes for offside. Nothing given though. Had managed to get across in there. Gordon and Fleck are in there now. No, there's Gordon here. Got off by Wright. Comes to nothing though. Norwich having a lot of possession. They haven't created too many chances so far. Palace have accepted the one that has come their way. That really is the story so far. No doubt at all, Steve Coppell will be the happier of the two managers. Salako for Crystal Palace. Right, didn't quite keep that in play. Whose career really has come to life at Crystal Palace, in tandem with Ian Wright up front. Bowen. There's Phillips. Good run now by Sherwood. Again, the midfield players supporting Fleck up front. Flags up though for offside.
Looking at the height of the Palace back players, particularly Thorne, Martin to come and collect the crosses. If Sherwood gets involved in playing wide positions, it's difficult for him to get in the box, and he needs to get in the box because he's of great value to them, Sherwood, in the air. Sherwood and Fleck are their main threats in that direction. So the long cross is almost worthless unless they're in a position to attack the ball in the penalty box.
Well, Thomas certainly attacked the ball for Palace then. And here he is once more. Now Salako. We've got 3-4 up here. Almost fell then for Wright. He was watching it all the way, and it might just have hung, and he swung that one. That could have been a goal.
I think he had visions of David Platt there against Belgium, watching it come over his right shoulder, ready to hook it into the top corner. It just escaped him.
Instead he missed it. It was more like David Fleet. Well, there's Stevie Coppell, and he'll be well satisfied with his team showing. Too much away beforehand about his formation, and it was a big surprise when young Southgate tried it out. Always keeps his cards close to his chest, Steve Coppell. Dave Springer said he wouldn't give me Norwich's team for half time. So. You managers are cagey people. Corner then to Norwich. Dale Gorton to take it. Colston has come up from the back. We've got Sherwood in there too. And there Nigel Martin certainly making his presence felt. He's such a big, commanding goalkeeper, David, isn't he?
Yeah, good dominant confidence there. I think he's come 10, 11, 12 yards to take that ball, and his defenders will feel so much better. I think that was Norwich's first corner of the game. And it's always important for that goalkeeper to come and show his authority on the first one.
Sherwood, his duel there with Salako. Calderhouse now. Here's Sherwood. Norwich hungry for a goal. Broken up though by Gray. Won't be dispossessed too easily. Right now, Salako's made a good forward run. Right and Pardew in the area, and across Cutton's blades.
Good, fast, progressive play there by Palace. Worked that ball down the field very well. We've got the corner. This is where they're dangerous.
They do break in such direct fashion. So up come the big men. A lot of height in there for Palace, and they are, as we were saying earlier on, so dangerous on set pieces. So many goals come from them through the team line third in Division 1. Some pushing going on there though.
5 6-footers in the box there, Peter. 2 6-footers, Humphrey and Southgate on the edge of the box. Real height, real strength. Always going to be difficult for a goalkeeper and his fellow defenders to get that ball away, provided it's a good delivery.
They do cause so many problems for teams. The free kicks and corners, and Liverpool found that to their cost, of course, in the FA Cup semi-final last season, an epic match, which Palace eventually won. Now, David Smith. Sherwood. Hoping their passing game will be worked to good effect here. It's always nice to watch, but is it going to punish Crystal Palace? towards Sherwood, and it was Shaw who headed it clear. I think it's just gone out for a corner. David Phillips isn't too sure. It was Richard Shaw who certainly came to the rescue there for Crystal Palace. Phillips for the corner. And header and goal! Sherwood. Terrific header. Well, David Peake was saying earlier on about the man's threat. They need to get him in the penalty area. They most certainly did then. And with half an hour gone, Tim Sherwood makes it 1-1.
Fine delivery by Phillips. A driven ball, difficult to deal with, edge of the box. You won't see a better goal than that. Martin, no chance. A fine goal. There it is.
He almost stooped into it, and then, well, the header was directed superbly beyond Nigel Martin. A despairing leap for the Palace goalkeeper to no avail. And now we have a cup tie on. 1-1. The goal scorer, Tim Sherwood. That's goal number 7 for him this season. I was mentioning earlier on, he has popped up with some crucial goals. This might be as important as any of them. Lifted the crowd now. The Norwich supporters here. I think it's fair to say the Palace fans have been in better voice until then.
I think Tim's father's in the betting business, you know, Peter. I'm sure he'd have got good odds for that one. And he was a young lad. He was a Stevenage lad. Trained at Luton as a boy. Went to Watford. And was a fine signing for Norwich from Watford. Certainly very impressive in the air. And he's improving with every game that he plays in the First Division.
He got an outstanding goal, I gather, early in the season against Leeds United, and now he's got another one here tonight. Here's Sherwood pressing now. And the pressure now is all on Crystal Palace. Gordon to take the corner. Sherwood lurking on the edge of the area. Colston in there too. Up goes Sherwood. What a fairy tale that would have been if he'd scored again. But let's bring in Ron Atkinson. Ron, for your view, the one that he did put away.
Well, I actually think these teams have swapped colours. I mean, we've just seen Crystal Palace score a typical Norwich goal, and we've just seen Norwich equalise with a typical Crystal Palace type goal. I mean, it was a super header, but if you look again, Peter, I mean, that's my theory again. Defenders not marking the posts on corners make it so much easier for headers to go directly into the net.
Gordon now. What a strong spell this is for Norwich City. We'll come back to you in a second, Ron. Let's just stay with this, though. Ian Wright now, persevering at the other end. All happening out there. And safely back from Culverhouse to Brian Gunn. So, Ron, pick up your point there. You were saying on the header.
Yes, I mean, I can't. Brilliant header. Good, well-taken corner, but a brilliant lead by the lad Sherwood. Well-directed header. But if Crystal Palace had left defenders marking the posts, that couldn't have gone in the net. That would have been cleared off the line. And for me, I don't understand. Obviously, they've tried to push up and maybe catch a Norwich player offside when the corner's in flight. But I think it's a risky business leaving the post unguarded from a corner, because any direct header does exactly what Sherwood has done, go in the net.
Thanks, Ron. Well, I'm sure Steve Coppell will have plenty to say about the goal at half-time. But in the meantime, no question at all, Norwich City now looking a much better side. They're ball flying over the top. I mean, they're visibly lifted, David, aren't they now?
Yes, there's some self-belief there now. They started passing the ball a little bit slowly. If you pass the ball around in triangles and play early 1 and 2 touch, you must get to momentum with your passing. And I think Norwich have just picked that up a little bit now, possibly with the confidence of Sherwood's goal.
And still the rain falling heavily on this Carrow Road surface. 10 minutes to half-time. Norwich 1, Crystal Palace 1. In this first leg of the Southern Area final. The winners to go on to Wembley. And in that final, the winners of the Southern Area will meet the Northern winners, and they will be either Barnsley Burnley or Everton, they have to play each other and then take on Leeds United to decide who goes on to Wembley. Free kick to Norwich. They're certainly dictating the play now.
I read some horrible transfer talk a few weeks ago regarding the boy Sherwood, you know, and it would be a very unfortunate thing if Norwich were to lose another duel. They've lost so many good players, people like Bruce, Phelan, Drinkle.
David Phillips here, one of the newer faces. And it's well taken on the near post by Martin. Was it over the line? Norwich fans say yes. Linesman says no, does he? I think he's changed his mind.
Linesman says yes, referee says no. No, in actual fact, Seville walked away, the referee, but the linesman, who's no nearer than Seville, but is on the line, but a long way from it, it's on the other side of the goal, he said yes.
I reckon that's over too. Sorry all you Palace fans. Corner from Phillips. Nowhere near Sherwood this time, but Vaughan conceding another corner. This time really has come to life now. Dale Gordon. Smith. Trying to thread it through to Colston. No joy there on this occasion. But you were talking, David, about players that Norwich have lost. Andy Townsend, of course, was a really big blow.
Andy Townsend, Linnigan, David Watson, of course, Chris Woods before that. It seems to me that despite the splendid environment here at Norwich and the success of the club in the last few years, we've been forced to sell players, and that's a shame.
All Blades. And they did spend a lot of money on. Record signing, £750,000. Andy Gray getting it ticking off. Dave Stringer, the Norwich manager, who's done an excellent job taking over for some Ken Brown back in 1987. Gray, you can't shake him off. Right tackling then with Colston. The referee says it's a free kick to Crystal Palace.
Colston certainly got too tight there, and they're always going to be vulnerable to that ball over the top if they get too tight. Leave that space behind. Wright and Bright can both turn. There he is, seeking that space out, and there's no question about it. Colston wrestles with him, argues his case, but I'm afraid he loses the judgment. There's no question. That's a free kick to Palace.
And Vaughan will take it. Sherwood. Counter-attack could be on here for Norwich. Neck was sought by Phillips. It's Bowen. Smith's got through the middle. Gordon now. Bowen again. And on Humphrey, over the throw to Norwich City. They are dominating, no question, David, but they've got to watch the pace of the Palace men when they do break through. The likes of Wright and Bright.
Yeah, that's correct. They're so dangerous, and of course the more you attack sometimes, the more vulnerable you are, more people and defenders join in. For example, Mark Bowen is joining in far more in the last 15 minutes than he did in the first 15 minutes. And the more he goes forward, the more he leaves space behind him in that left-back position for Wright or Bright to spin into. So they've got to watch it all the time.
Just over 5 minutes of the first half to go. Norwich 1, Crystal Palace 1. You're just joining us. Jeff Thomas giving Palace the lead on 17 minutes, and then Tim Sherwood, a marvellous headed reply on the half hour. Now, could be a chance for the long throw here from Andy Gray. He really can't hurl them in, but that's a short sign he won't do, as I just said that he will. I got it right this time. This will flick on to Thomas with the shot, and it spins into the grateful arms of Blanca. These long throws of his, David, really can be a menace, can't they?
Yes, if they're delivered with a nice trajectory, You know, there's an easy flick for Bright. Polston let him come off him too easily there.
From Phillips. Andy Thorne to tidy up at the back though for Crystal Palace. Andy Gray. They like corners really when they come in, and often with a more difficult angle for defenders to deal with. Headed in by Polston. Here's Goss. Now that for Bowen. Gordon flipped it away to his left. Goss has made a good run through the middle here. And it was well spotted too by Shaw.
Yeah, and good play by Bowen as well. A good, nice early delivery. Goss kept his run going. Good covering by Shaw. Good play all round.
Certainly some football to admire in the first half at Carrow Road. Free kick to Norwich. Andy Gray putting himself about as always. Goalkeepers often do this these days, taking the free kicks almost near the halfway line. Pardew. Right, with the strength then to hold off the challenge. Here goes Thomas again. Oh, and Gunn was caught out. Now has Wright scored. Oh, incredible. Right off the line by Culverhouse. What on earth was Brian Gunn doing there? Well, you can blame the conditions or whatever, but he was certainly stranded.
I think the hesitation came. He felt for a horrible second that he might have to foul him. Then when it bounced over him, he was caught in no man's land, and didn't Culverhouse cover well.
Here's the corner. Gunn didn't get it then either. Thomas appeals for handball. I think the referee's view then was totally obscured. Or did they think it was over the line? Frantic appeals in from the Palace players. We'll look again in a moment.
It was that ball to the near post area, wasn't it again, Peter? Too many bodies. Gunn couldn't get to the ball. Bright got it back there. Well, that just proves what a hard job Alan Seville's got out there in the middle.
I mean, there's no way he could see there. Alan was right behind that cluster of players there. Whether they felt it struck an arm or thought it was over the line, you really couldn't see. The drama then in the 6-yard area. Brian Gunn didn't get there, David, did he?
No, it's very difficult. When they crowd that near post like that and it's a good delivery, it's very difficult for the goalkeeper.
Sherwood shot. Well, that really was an astonishing scramble on the line. Now, I don't think it did go over.
No, I would agree with you, Peter. I think the Palace shouts were definitely optimistic. I think we're trying to convince Mr. Seville he's missed something. He didn't miss anything.
Yeah, in fairness to the Palace players, they didn't prolong their argument. So maybe they thought better of it. Well, worth an appeal, worth a shout, wasn't it?
It's worth a shout, Peter, but I have to make the point that had they prolonged the argument, they've no case because he then books them. So, you know, the way the referees have to referee, if you prolong argument, then you get in the book, and there's no necessity for that.
Anyway, it was certainly a let-off for Norwich City. Gordon now. Bowen outside him. Sure. Gordon. It's good running by him again.
Excellent play by Gordon. He's mixing his game up. He's not just playing wide on the right. He's going across field. He's playing balls, following his balls. Here he's got away from Humphries on the inside. And as he approaches the goal, you think it's almost a certainty to put an accurate ball in. And there's Sherwood regretfully saying, you know, just stick it in there and I would have done it.
If only he could have slipped it to him. Well, Gordon now taking the corner. It should be Martins. Comfortably enough. Well, the defenders came streaming out then and they left right onside. And well, Blades did well to recover. And he was living very dangerously then.
Route 1.
Well, Route 1, but I'll tell you what, White was nearly in then. And there's the half-time whistle. It really did turn out to be a rousing first half. Crystal Palace taking the lead on 17 minutes. That goal from their captain, Jeff Thomas. Their first real strike of the game. But then Norwich bouncing back in style. And a superb header by Tim Sherwood to level this first leg. It's no goals. It's still 1-1 in this Southern Area final first leg of the Zenith Data Cup. But there is a change in the Crystal Palace side. Phil Barber has come on and Alan Pardew has gone off. So I don't think David Patonet's going to make too much of a change to the Palace formation. But we'll ask about that in just a second. Let's stay here with Barber, who's the longest serving player in the Crystal Palace setup. So he's got a lot of experience. And I think he'll just slot into the side fairly easily. David?
Yes, Barber's come on for Pardew. Pardew got a knock very early on in the game, and I think that definitely affected his mobility. And in fact, Barber's taken up the very same position in the centre of midfield with Andy Gray, supported by Thomas. Barber, one of the best athletes at Crystal Palace. He came from Aylesbury a few seasons ago.
Yes, I'm just showing, in fact, he has a shin injury, Alan Pardew, so he is now off and replaced by Phil Barber. Shaw's header. Had a good first half, Shaw. Here's Shaw again. Who came through the youth ranks. Richard Shaw at Crystal Palace, and he really has emerged as a very talented player over the past year or so, establishing himself as a regular in the side. Here's Bowen. Now Sherwood, scorer of that first Norwich goal, and the corner is conceded right at the start of the second half by John Humphrey. One of the new faces in the Crystal Palace side this season. On the chart and Wolves player. So an early flourish here from Norwich in the second half. Fleck's the only man in the 6-yard area. Colston, Sherwood and company looking to attack as well. It's Colston's header. Foot out of the air though. It's come to at ease by Nigel Martin. Oh, Bowen's header was a wayward one, right onto it so quickly. Good chance, good save. Ryan Gunn rescuing Norwich there, and it's a foul. And a real scare that, David, for Norwich.
Yeah, right, broke very quickly there after Martin had fielded the corner. I think that at first he thought he was going to play it beyond him, over the top of him, and Gunn just got there and smothered and did well.
But once again, the speed off the mark. Not so much to the fore. The run have resulted in another goal for Crystal Palace. It stays at 1-1. This area final very neatly poised, very much in the balance. The second leg to come, of course, at Selhurst Park next week. Grant Gunn, who's had a very consistent season, and he spread himself well then to deny Ian Wright. Member of the Scottish World Cup squad, of course, Grant Gunn. Shaw, taking it forward in search of Wright. Thomas, now Barber, carried by Smith and Sherwood. Now Colston, chance to cut forward. Flex pass, accurate 1-2. Phillips now, ensuring to cross the ball in. Colston had continued his run through to the penalty area, but couldn't direct his header onto the target.
It was a fine cross by Phillips, but Culverhouse did very well too to support him. It gave him an alternative there. And already Norwich have decided to make a little change. Phillips on the right-hand side, Gordon on the left, as opposed to the first half where they were in the reverse positions. Whether Dave Stringer feels that Gordon's pace and ability to go past people might be better affected against Humphrey on the left-hand side.
Atkinson was saying at half-time about the possibility of bringing on Rule Fox. Your thoughts about that, David?
Yes,
quick player.
Yes, very quick player, and I'm sure he's done very well with Fleck, particularly as the game gets spread and gets open. I think we're going to see a tight game all the way through this evening.
Fox came on and changed the FA Cup tie against Manchester United. It's a goal kick to Palace. Things rather turned around when he came on, Rule Fox, and he is that type of player. What about this young man then, David Smith?
Yeah, he's beginning to gain confidence as the game goes on. He's beginning to play nice push and goes and break forward. He's got a strange gait, a rather awkward running style. He's only 20, he came down from Liverpool as a youngster, and I know Dave Stringer, I was speaking to him before the game, is very pleased with his progress. For a 20-year-old to be playing in First Division football, that is good progress.
And wearing the number 6 shirt, normally worn by Ian Crook, so he's following in the footsteps of a player they rate extremely highly at Carrow Road, and indeed he's running all around the country, I think. Such a good passer of a ball, Ian Crook. And they're missing that little bit of skill from him tonight. David Smith is doing well. It's a foul on right, no question then by Goss. Sherwood involved there too. The outcome, free kick to Crystal Palace. Nothing there for Shaw. Now off goes Goss. Good covering though by Southgate. Hasn't let Palace down tonight. His first full reach for the team. But here's Dale Gordon. Oh! Well, he did the hard part.
Yeah, fine play by Gordon. He just drifted past Southgate there. Did his little trick, his little shimmy. Good idea across the face of the goalkeeper. Here it is, on the run. Surging past. And as he hits it with his left foot, it's across the face of the goal, and just too much for someone to come in and tap in.
But he showed so much pace then, Dale Gordon. And his right hoping to do the same now at the other end. Tackle low from Colston. His cup tie really warming up now. Ian Wright. Released by Culverhouse. Phillips. Towards Gray. He wasn't that far away then, Andy Gray, leaning back into it. Difficult ball for him, David. He didn't know he could head it at all.
Yeah, it was superbly set up, wasn't it, by Wright on the left-hand side there. Deep cross.
From Gordon. Looking to link up with Robert Fleck. Bright is the target here. 8 minutes into the second half. Still Norwich 1, Crystal Palace 1. This is Bowen for Norwich. Gordon. Now then for Blades. Phillips, the offender, free kick to Crystal Palace. Looking for Bright, good jump by him. Right with Thomas, here's Wright again. Bowen nicked him at the last. Very promising combination though by Palace.
Fine covering by Mark Bowen. Sometimes the right-footed left-back, which Mark Bowen is, predominantly a right-footed player, sometimes they get into covering positions that little bit better than the left-footed players.
Now off goes Bright again. He has Wright in support and Gray here. Gray is going into the tackle. It's a goal kick. Such an aggressive, competitive player though, Andy Gray. And admired by a lot of clubs, I think.
Yes, well, he's already had 4 himself, I think, hasn't he? He started at Palace and he He went to Aston Villa under Graham Taylor for a spell, and short one back at QPR, and now he's come home again, and I think home is where he hangs his hat. I think he likes the Palace.
Shaw. Here's Gordon though for Norwich. Now for Bowen. The Norwich captain. On for Goss. Right. Looking for Thomas. Culverhouse very cool and collected. He's played more first-team games than any other regular member of this side at Norwich. The next Tottenham man. Again, giving an encouraging display tonight for Norwich. Southgate. Pretty heavy up there now. Post up, topping it through. No real chance though for Smith. Right. Control that well. It's free. Bright's prepared to chase. Service wasn't too good really. Blades holding on. And there's that man going again.
It's nice to see 4 footballers at the back, Norwich City. Particularly the 3 boys that came from Tottenham, and indeed Blades. They all want to play the ball and work the ball when they get it, and it makes it easier for their own midfield players because they know they can look towards the ball for passes. They may come, they may not bypass them all the time, and that helps them play.
It's a throw to Norwich. On the edge of the area, right there too, and the linesman said that's a foul throw. Andy Gray looks daggers at him. He's a big fellow, the linesman. I wouldn't argue with him. Now, news of some other matches in the Leyland Daft Cup. This is the Southern Area semi-final. Birmingham 2, Cambridge 0. Cambridge, of course, the FA Cup heroes, struggling there. And Tranmere, who we featured in the Northern Area semi-final in their win at Wigan, they're now 2-0 up against Preston. That's the first leg there. And in the Southern Area semi-final, Southend 0, Brentford 2. So Brentford going well against Southend, of course, the leading side in Division 3. Mark Bright was almost on the end of that one.
It was a superb ball by Barber, just teasing Blades, and I think Mark Bright will be a bit disappointed that he didn't get on the end of that one.
So they have looked rather uneasy once or twice at the back, Norwich, and you just feel that Crystal Palace might pinch another goal. Sherwood's head. Culverhouse. Atmosphere in the ground though. Both teams still in with an excellent chance of going on to Wembley. Really could go either way. That's offside. Flag up down beneath us. What do you feel, David? Is it an advantage to play the first leg away or the first leg at home?
I think it's much easier really to be set to play the second game at home. I think you can play a containing game if you wish in the first leg of a 2-leg game, and I think that if Palace are able to maintain this score, they'll be more than happy to go at home, you know, without a deficit.
Well, of course, they had the home leg first last year in the final, lost that 2-0 to Chelsea. They were always up against it then, and Chelsea won the second, I think, 2-0 as well. there was really no way back. Now here's Fleck. Fleck's up. Free kick to Palace. Balls of disapproval from the crowd. And I think Will Fox is now going to come off. Now, is it Sherwood who's going off or Smith? Let's see if it's a 6 or a 9. It's a 6. David Smith, the young 20-year-old, getting a consoling pattern from Dave Stringer. And on comes Will Fox. And I think the crowd certainly applaud his arrival. He can transform a match. He's very, very pacey. That's a foul by Colston on Bright. So danger looming here for Norwich City. Colston adjudged the offender. Now what could Palace do here? Norwich have everybody back defending, including Will Fox, who's just come on. Andy Gray perhaps will try one from here. Thomas is there too. Now here is Andy Gray, driven through. Deflected on the way. Corner to Palace. Certainly a fierce drive in by Gray. Cry now with Eagles from the Crystal Palace fans. Right and right in the 6-yard area. Grade's got it away. Right now, trying to turn Fox. The implication. Smile from Culverhouse. On we go with a Palace throw. Ian Wright did well to hook that in. Bowen did well to hook it away. Now Fleck. Now is he held back then? The referee, who's a long way away, says yes. And the free kick taken very quickly. Gordon now. Fleck. Just beyond Tim Sherwood. Too many opportunities to score tonight, Robert Fleck, but my word, he's toiled away up front, so often a lone figure until support arrives. Colston, I think he was shoved then by Bright.
I think we'll possibly see Fleck in a different light now that he's got another front-running partner with Will Fox. It's always difficult when he's on his own there, and he's got to offer himself to the midfielders and the defenders, but he's a lone player with his back to goal.
Fox offered himself then to Sherwood, made some space for himself.
I think Norwich have got a slight problem. Dale Gordon, when he went on that little dribble a couple of seconds ago, he ran into trouble and he seems to have got a problem with his knee, Peter. I know Norwich would be very worried. He's a very significant player in their team pattern, and they have a big cup tie coming up on Saturday, of course.
Yes, Dale Gordon certainly has a problem there. He is such an influential player for Norwich. And apparently, hearing there was a suggestion he was going to come off when Fox came on. David Fleet shaking his head. You don't think so, David? Well, Dave Stringer wondering what he has to do here. He sent Will Fox on. Of course, he has Ian Butterworth as his other substitute. Well, let's have a quick look here at how the two teams reached this stage. There we are, Crystal Palace, Bristol Rovers 2-1. Then in the quarter-final, they beat Brighton 2-0. I think Brighton Wright, the scorers, and that was Ian Wright's 100th goal for Crystal Palace. And then in the semi-final, 3-1, the success over Luton Town. Dale Gordon back on his feet, as we just see here the route to the final from Norwich, Millwall, after penalties, Southampton, and then an epic game here with Ipswich. It was a cracking night. Norwich winning by 2-0 in front of 16,000. Now Gordon in for Fleck. Oh, it was inches away. Dale Gordon back in the game and almost setting up a second goal then for Norwich. Fleck was so close. A fine pass that was then by Dale Gordon. So nearly exposed Crystal Palace. Here's Fox. Towards Fleck. Now Goss. How close up David Norwich were.
Yeah, good possession football by Norwich. You can clearly see the work that's done in the week by David Williams and David Stringer. They pass the ball, they keep possession of the ball and work it until they get a good position. That was a fine cross by Gordon, just a shade away from Fleck as he stormed in.
Dale Gordon back in the international fold, really. He was off the scene for a while. The England B recognition again. And he got into trouble a few years back. An incident involving the youth team, the England youth team, and he was out of favour for a while. And he did have this reputation for having a bit of a flashy image. Certainly a snazzy dresser. But here's Wright now then for Palace. On for Bright. Bowen nicked in again.
Once again, that point I tried to make earlier, but not too successfully. The right-footed left-back sometimes realises the danger and gets on the cover a little bit quicker than sometimes the orthodox left-back who plays with his left foot. Mark Bowen's strength there, covering, very good.
Free kick to Norwich. Mark Bowen, who never quite made the breakthrough at Tottenham, but most certainly has with Norwich. Now, Rule Fox. Here's Gordon. A little shuffle again. Well, Norwich applying some pressure here, examining this Crystal Palace defence. Let's have a word from Ron Atkinson. Ron?
Yes, I think it's become a better game now. It's livened up a little bit, and that's basically because, from Crystal Palace's point of view, the two front players have really got into the stride, and all of a sudden Dale Gordon has really come to life. I think he's been aided a little bit by Rule Fox coming on. Rule Fox is a little bit of an orthodox player that maybe they can't quite legislate for as easy as they did David Smith. But all of a sudden, I think the game's a lot livelier. Three good moments from Norwich, all provided by Dale Gordon, all very close misses. Robert Fleck, I think, will be disappointed if he didn't get on the end of Gordon's cross. But certainly, I would say the game has gone up a gear now.
How's your throat, by the way? The last time I spoke to you was after the Sheffield Wednesday game when you'd won. You could hardly speak. You've been out celebrating again.
Are you sure?
Are you all right now?
Improving steadily. There's a bulletins going up every day, Peter.
Well done, Ron.
That's a punishment for winning too many games, you know, Peter.
Atkinson will, of course, be going to Wembley with Sheffield Wednesday. I wonder which of these two teams is going there in the final of the Zenith Data Cup. Norwich 1, Crystal Palace 1. The first leg of the Southern Area final. He really was completely hoarse last week when Atkinson out on the shouting from the bench. I'm not saying I minded mine. Fox. There's Sherwood. It's a lovely layoff there by Phillips. Goss now into Fleck. And here's Bowen. And it's an opportunity. Suddenly came his way. Onto that right foot. And not really with enough power.
No, it's a speciality of Bowen's actually. He loves to curve them with his right foot from that advanced position on the left. And there was four men involved in that move. Typical Norwich, playing in packs, playing possession in packs. And then when Bowen gets a chance to go forward, here he is, arriving on that ball when it's played inside. That's Goss. When it's played back inside, who should appear? After a clever dummy by Fleck, yes, it's Bowen, quickly transfers it to his right foot, looks to glide it into the far corner, but slightly miscues it. But that's Norwich.
Throw to Crystal Palace. They took the lead here for Any new viewers? That was after 17 minutes. Goal by their captain, Jeff Thomas. And then back came Norwich, the equaliser on the half hour. A header from Tim Sherwood, which certainly stunned Crystal Palace. Well, there have been opportunities for both teams. No further goals thus far. Here's Goss. Voices now. Up comes Andy Thorne, also Southgate. Humphrey. In goes right. Foul on the goalkeeper. Thomas couldn't turn it anyway, it wouldn't have counted. Ian Wright going in too forcefully.
There's an example of Norwich clearing the box after Sherwood, I believe it was, had made the header away, and then they went out to support the ball, and when it was played back in, there's an offside decision. Whereas Palace, when the corner's being taken, they're looking to run out so quickly to catch anyone offside if there's a header back in, and that's what Ron Atkinson was referring to at half-time. They clear the box so quickly, they leave Martin unprotected.
Here's Bowen. Step from this man in the game. Bowen, now here's Goss. Delightful ball played it towards Fleck. Always looking to produce creative play. Norwich City. A lot of cohesion about their football. Bowen now. Fox again has taken up a useful position. Here's Sherwood. Now Fox. Build-up, and in the end, Palace able to deal with it. 72 minutes gone. Still Norwich 1, Crystal Palace 1. Another free kick though to Norwich. They score from the first leg of that Northern Area final. Tranmere are now 3 up against Preston. Tranmere, of course, winners of the competition last year. Looking as if Tranmere are on their way back to Wembley, and they really were most impressive when we saw them against Wigan a couple of weeks ago. Colston, a little casual though. Dave Barber, corner to Palace. So he really is going from one penalty area to the other, as both teams look to assert their authority in the second half. Ball again on the edge of the 6-yard area at Southgate. Barber. Salako's cross. Thomas.
Fine break by Thomas to get on the end of that one. But I quite like Salako. When he goes forward on the left, he can play the ball early with his left foot in. That was the right foot ball. And when he goes forward on the right-hand side, he can put them in just as equally well with the other foot. And he takes corners from both sides, the in-swingers from both sides. Unusual for a player to be equally as good with both feet.
John Salako, who scored one of the goals of the season earlier on, the match against Nottingham Forest, from just inside the opponent's half. Very talented footballer. And now a regular in the Palace side. Here he is now. Across this time. He heard you, Dave. He heard you praising him. It always has an effect, doesn't it?
Just put my hands across my eyes, Peter.
On from Phillips. Here's Fleck. The ever-willing runner. Now Phillips again. A little bit of space. And a shooting chance. Oh, great save. Martin right across. David Phillips, who scored some thunderous goals down the years. His days with Manchester City and Plymouth and Coventry, of course. Played in the FA Cup final back in '87. And he really brought the best then out of Nigel Martin. Good, reliable player, David Phillips. And he's been a very useful acquisition by Norwich over the past couple of seasons. Another free kick to Norwich. Alan Seville quickly on the spot. He's kept a tight rein on matters tonight. Still 1-1 then. Sherwood on 31 minutes for Norwich after Jeff Thomas had given Palace the lead. Sherwood's chip. A little ambitious perhaps. Phillips again. In goes Sherwood. Now Salako. Turned away from trouble so well, but fails to find Ian Wright, who looks rather disgusted with the service. Oh, even more than I thought. Pick up what he said then, David, didn't you? Sherwood. Will Fox. Culverhouse sprinting outside him. Here's Culverhouse now. Now Fleck for Goss. Of Norwich players swarming around the penalty area, and in the end, well, they win the corner anyway off Barber. Always probing for an opening though, Norwich. Quickly taken, Gordon. Flags up. So Sherwood, possibly one or two others as well, caught offside. Tim Sherwood, who will look back with great pleasure on his goal in the first half. One of the best-headed goals of the season, I'm sure. Now, here's Bowen. Fleck. Will Fox. Has Phillips up with him. Three others in the middle as well. And the header really strong enough from Jeremy Goss. What about the impact, though, that Fox is making, David?
Yes, well, they're changing the system and opening the game out slightly. Less players in the middle of the midfield. A little bit more room to work the ball. More targets up front. It seems to have given Norwich an extra dimension.
Alan Seville keeping the game flowing then. He spotted the linesman's flag. Saw Norwich in possession. On you go, he says. Thomas. Turned away from Goss. Right onside. Well, everyone looked across to the linesman. No sign of a flag. Humphrey just in before Phillips.
Well, in my view, Wright was a little bit fortunate there to be classed onside.
He is so quick, though, David. Maybe the defenders around him were too slow. I would agree with you, though, there. I think that was offside, but the linesman has an even better view.
It's nice to see, in fact, the last corner that Norwich took, both Wright and Bright staying right up the field. No thoughts of a negative approach.
It certainly wasn't negative there. Very positive indeed from Ian Wright. What are your feelings about Ian Wright in terms of an England place, David? Is he the man to play front?
Well, I think he likes space to run into. I think he likes to get down channels and get behind defenders. I think in international football, when teams tend to sit a little bit deeper and play a more chess-like game, I feel that his playing coming off and holding the ball up isn't as good as may be required at top-class international level. I think he's a player more for the moment, the top-class domestic scene, where he's got space to run into rather than space to come on and manoeuvre the ball and bring people into the game. I think the type like Nigel Clough is very good at that.
Right. Gray. Here's Barber. with Salako. Now the break is on for Norwich. There's no offside there. Vaughan looked across, but he mistimed it. So questions being asked at both ends of the field.
Terrific pace. The second half's been played at a terrific pace. Credit to both teams.
10 minutes to go. Southgate. So Ron Atkinson watching this game with us. Any thoughts on how this one is going to end up now?
Wouldn't stick my neck out on this one at all. I mean, Norwich have played some super link-up play, some good combination play, and have nearly got themselves a couple of goals, mainly through Dale Gordon. But there's always the threat of Wright. David was just saying about how well he runs down the channels. I'm just a little bit surprised Crystal Palace maybe don't knock a few more of those channel balls, particularly with Norwich pushing forward a bit and trying to catch Norwich on the break sort of thing, because they do tend to push their fullbacks forward, do Norwich, and that leaves a lot of space to hit. But at the moment, they're playing more to feet Palace than I've seen them play. And I'm a bit surprised, as I say, that they haven't just tried to knock a few little balls in behind the fullback areas and let Wright exploit their defenders.
Thank you, Rob. And this, just to remind you, really only the first half of this area final. Second leg to come at Selhurst Park a week tonight. And that promises to be quite a game too. And if there are no further goals tonight, well, Palace are the favourites to go on. Such as the quality of football that Norwich can play, you would certainly not bet against them. Sherwood now to Bowen. Phillips taking over. Charged down then by Andy Gray. And then charged into Goss. And off goes Thomas. Right and right on either flank. Wright's offside. Mark Wright wheeled away in disgust then. It was Wright though who was caught, and not Bright. Bowen. Sherwood in support. Bit of trip then on Phil Barber. Salako taking the free kick for Crystal Palace. 8 minutes to go. The aerial route towards Bright, who's now hobbling. On a knock. Will Fox. Flex pulled away to the far post. Still Fox. Here's Bowen. Good save again by Martin. Big man with a big pair of hands. And again, he's demonstrated tonight why he is one of England's premier goalkeepers. Right up there with the very best of them. Right. Let it run through then to Gorp. Fox, once more the overlap from Culverhouse outside him. Culverhouse now. Fleck trying to get the header in. Shot from Sherwood. And almost took the boxes. Going out above the crowd behind the goal there. Some you win, some you lose.
Nice to see Culverhouse continuing to make these forward runs in support. He's made 1 or 2 runs, hasn't got the ball. But that hasn't deterred him. He's continued to make his breaks forward, and it was he that time that put that ball into the box. Good support play.
And the player injured, Gareth Southgate, has come through this test well tonight. Getting what I'm sure was for him a surprise opportunity in the side with Eric Young out injured. Maybe a little bit of cramp there, David.
Yeah, quite possibly. It's amazing. First division teams, first division players, the fitness level nowadays are quite incredible, and quite a difference from players who feel they can cope when they come into it, but reserve team football is a different standard completely. But he's coped very well tonight. He's a nice athletic looking boy. He's nice and upright. He's got a nice stride, and he's been helped by his colleagues, the 2 other centre backs, Thorne and Shaw, but he'll reflect on a very good first full team performance.
And Andy Gray just getting a telling off from referee Seville, kicking the ball into the crowd at the other end after the free kick gone against Crystal Palace. Now Birmingham 2, Cambridge 1, so they've pulled one back there, Cambridge. That's in the Southern Area semi-final. Brentford still leading 2-0 away to Southend. Also in the semi-finals of the Southern Area. And look at Tranmere now, 4-0 up against Preston at Prenton Park. And in the first leg of the Northern Area final. Rule Fox. Commanding figure of Thorne is there once more. Blades in ahead of Wright. Now Southgate. Culverhouse got there in the end, but that was very nearly a very telling pass.
It was a fine pass.
Well, he'll remember his first full game in the Crystal Palace side with a great deal of pride. Gareth Southgate. Make a note of the name. We're going to see more of him in the future. Left. Palace certainly don't want to concede another goal now. They'll fancy themselves for the return. Wright's just wandered offside again. No complaints from the England striker this time. Linesman absolutely right. Brian Gunn to take the free kick. How urgently Norwich would like to take a lead into the second leg. Up goes Fleck, beaten over the air by Thorne. Now Culverhouse, here's Fox. Phillips. And Sherwood in support. And also Bowen now. Laid off by Fleck. Culverhouse. He's had a good match tonight, hasn't he?
Yes, the Norwich fullbacks, they get nice and involved. When it's played forward, they're not frightened to go and play like midfield players and join in. There's a fine pass in, a little knock back, and it's the other fullback coming from the other side, Culverhouse, who tries his luck, gets over the ball really well, but can't quite direct it.
Ian Culverhouse, another man who didn't quite make the necessary breakthrough at Tottenham. 2 games in the first team, but in the last, 5 years or so, certainly has made his mark with Norwich City. Salako now. Brighton right in the area, Bowen away. Thomas in strongly, so too though was Goss. Here's Thorne. 2 minutes left now. Plus a little bit of injury time. Steve Coppell getting the ball over there. Still playing, I gather, Steve Coppell. Charity matches played at the weekend. Love to be out there tonight, I'm sure. Well, I wonder what call there was there, David. All Blades picked it away at the end, but Brian Gunn came with the same ball.
Yeah, once again, the trademark of Norwich. They like to work the ball.
Bill for handball. The referee in accord. And a little dust up. Sherwood and Gray. Which referee Seville is not as big as those two.
I don't think Mr. Seville should wrestle with them two. He looks a midget with Gray and Sherwood.
I tell you what, he sorted them out though, didn't he?
Well, I don't think we'll take the names.
He's got a whistle and a notebook. He's calling Andy Gray over. Tim Sherwood. He's satisfied that he's made his point. Now Bowen. Will Fox darting at defenders, trying to commit them. And a bellow of disapproval from the Norwich fans will confirm that the free kick has been given to Crystal Palace.
No, 6 or 1, half a dozen the other. I was very impressed the way Fox took that ball inside the box, really got low, went to the left, took it to the outside of his right foot. Good play.
His injury problems this season, Will Fox. When he does come on, things always seem to happen. He's only around, 5'6", I would think. But when he does dart at defenders and he tries to commit them, you feel that there's something there. Something might just come his way. Barber now. Well, Palace will be the happier side, David, going into, if it stays this way, going into the second leg, having survived this one, but where would your money be?
Well, I thought at the start it's very evenly poised. I thought that a free kick or a corner might just take the game. That hasn't happened, although Sherwood equalised from a set piece. Palace haven't utilised their set pieces, particularly the corners, or haven't got anything from their corners. But I would say it's very still evenly poised, even for the second leg. They're well-matched teams. There's a slight contrast in styles. Norwich have performed very effectively tonight. They've had good possession, quite a few goal attempts. It's been a good game.
Salako. Of course, Norwich have this FA Cup quarter-final with Nottingham Forest coming up at the weekend. They've had a lot of matches recently, so have Palace too. I wonder if their stamina's going to be sapped a little bit, though.
Well, I certainly think that this game tonight, Tuesday, although it's finished on a very sticky pitch, I think Norwich have enjoyed the game the way they played. They pushed it around well. They haven't got goals to reward their efforts. But I would have thought that if anyone's watching from Nottingham Forest regarding the Cup tie on Saturday, they will be mighty sure that they're going to be in for a very good game. It's going to be nothing like the 6-2 result that was here a couple of weeks ago.
Well, there is the final whistle, and the first leg has ended all square. Everything still to play for then in the second leg at Selhurst Park. Both the goals coming in the first half. A lot of chances for both teams. Certainly the goalkeepers were extremely busy. But as it is, the two goals that decided this first leg, one for Palace from Jeff Thomas, and then the equaliser from Tim Sherwood. So I wonder now then how it's all going to go at Selhurst Park. Well, certainly Crystal Palace with home advantage now. They've done, you might say, the hard part. But Norwich had the flair, the skill and the enterprise to give them an extremely tough test. Well, now let's go down to the touchline and join Gary Bloom. Gary?
With me, the Palace skipper, Jeff Thomas. Jeff, I imagine you're rather pleased with that result, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. We've got a lot to do. They beat us 3-1 at Selhurst Park not long ago, so it's still evenly matched. It's going to be a tough game, Danny.
And that goal of yours could be quite an important factor in this cup tie now, couldn't it?
Yeah, it was a great time